So all of the talk with Unrivaled has been about Angel Reese as far as the Sky are concerned. Like, a lot of people have been talking about Angel. Heck, Kennedy Carter's been a topic of conversation because Kennedy Carter's not coming back to the Sky. However, one player that is just not talked about at all, and I think deserves at least some recognition for what she's been doing, it's Kamilla Cardoso. Like, what Kamilla Cardoso has been doing is incredible in China. Like, she has been really good. And yeah, if you want to look at her stats have not been brilliant. Because in fairness, the actual local bigs are decent. But there are things that she is doing that are going to really help her for the WNBA season. Because, again, we watched Kamilla Cardoso last year. As far as just touch around the basket goes, for a 6'7" player, it's something it's rare. It's rare someone has that type of touch around the basket. And she's huge, she's immovable, she can just turn and shoot over people, and her finishing's really good. As well as that, with Cardoso, there is no 6'7" player that runs, I would say, that runs up and down as fast as Cardoso. Dominique Malonga is a lot quicker than her, but at her size, her ability to run up and down the floor, and not just her height, that it's not like she's like Malonga where there's strength questions, there's questions whether she's too skinny to play inside. There's none of that. Like, Cardoso's tough to move. She's big, she's strong, and yeah, like, you've got that now. And the thing is with Cardoso is, if you're seeing it in China, and this is one of the things playing China, you're playing 5v5. In the playoffs, in the first game, she has 17, 20 boards, and 9 assists. Kamilla Cardoso nearly had a 2020 triple-double. She's 1 assist and 3 points away from a 2020 triple-double. And again, I get it. These stats are inflated overseas. They definitely are. Like, China as well, if you are like the lead import, they can be inflated. But we have seen her come up against a lot of elite bigs. We've seen her go toe-to-toe with Liz Cambage this year. We've seen her go toe-to-toe with Han Zhu, who, again, is not this unbelievable player. But at the same time, like, she's a WNBA player. Like, these are players that she's coming up against a lot of the time are other teams' imports. Like, she's balling. She's absolutely balling. And if you're the Chicago Sky, like, it's one of those things where I stand by this. I don't believe that the two is going to work. But if you're the Sky, you really want Angel and Cardoso as individuals to have great seasons. Because I think for the Sky long term, you pick one or the other and you trade the other for a star. Like, I think Cardoso is going to be at that level where, like, she's going to, like, I think she's going to be now at the level. She's going to be compared to all the best young players. Like, you're looking at young players coming through. Like, everyone's hyping this 2026 draft. I think Cardoso's better than Lauren Betts. I do. I think she's better than Lauren Betts. And I think that she can fit more than Lauren Betts because she runs so fast in transition. And I think you're going to be seeing a new breed of the launch forward point guards, the transition play. And I think the slow down point guards are going to be a thing of the past very soon. And I think that the transition point guards are going to be more like gold dust. And I think Cardoso sprinting the floor is great. And the problem is, again, is with their current setup, it's tough because even if Angel develops that 3-point game, it's like, is pulling Angel out of the three worth giving up the offensive rebounding advantage you gain with not even with the two of them, with just Angel inside? Like, that's just my opinion. Is I think the Chicago Sky are going to be are going to be at their most effective with, you go out, you need to try in the offseason to do whatever you can. I would give max money if I'm the Sky to Alana Smith. Because Alana Smith is a player who is a legit rim protecting big all defensive caliber player who can spread the floor and allow Angel to play inside where she's best on offense. And she's going to be able to get the rebounds while also making them still an elite defensive team. Whereas if you're with Cardoso, she is a guarding center and elite shot blocker. Like, we've seen what she's done to A'ja Wilson. Like, blocking A'ja 5 times. And there's not that many people with the speed of her at 6'7". But I think for the two of them to work, you're going to need, especially in modern basketball, like, in modern basketball, you're going to need one of them to get 3-point range. And with that, it's going to take away from them being inside. So it's just such a tough one if you're the Chicago Sky, like, what to do. And I always say it, like, this year is the test. This year is the test. And, like, if I'm completely wrong, and by the way, for me being completely wrong, the Sky, I think, even without that, the Sky are, like, as of right now, even without either of them developing a 3-point shot and the two of them together, I think the Sky are somewhere between, I think, 6 and 8. I don't think they're lower than 8. If they're lower than 8, blow it up right now. If they're not a playoff team, you blow it up right now. Regardless of their numbers, you blow it up right now. With the players around them, they need to be a playoff team. I think they're going to be between 6 and 8. If they are 6, you keep running. If they're 7, you consider it. If they're 8, you strongly consider trading one of those two for a star player that fits better, and do whatever you can if you're keeping Cardoso to go get yourself like a 3-point shooting power forward. And I don't know how many of them there are in the WNBA, to be honest, that are maybe like 6'3", 6'4". It's going to be tough. But you're going to try, or maybe even draft the type of player you want to draft. And if you're keeping Angel, give Alana Smith a max contract. But you've now got, say, that's what you want to do. But if they're the 6th seed, you run with them. Like, that is their ceiling. And if they're better than the 6th seed, if they're better than the 6th seed this year, and the two of their bigs are playing at all-star level, like, I'm always willing to admit when I'm wrong. Like, I'm talking basketball purely here. Like, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I can't see it working just because I don't see how the 2 inside bigs works, but still, like, it's a madhouse situation that's going on right now, and it's such an interesting one because everything I know about the sport of basketball says long term having the 2 inside bigs, especially when teams learn to be able to game plan for it more, it's really hard because while both Cardoso and Angel are serviceable passers, like, they can both pass the ball. Neither of them are bad passers. I think Angel's a good passer in the half court. I think they're both passable passers. I think in transition, Angel's very good when she's dribbling and going left or right. I think she's quite iffy on those throw ahead passes, but she doesn't have to throw them that much. I mean, in Cardoso, like, I haven't seen her throw. Like, from last year, I can't remember any crazy outlets she threw. But in the half court, they're both serviceable passers. Like, for the two of them to really work, they're gonna either basically be have to be the best passing big duo we've seen since, like, Duncan and Thiago Splitter is probably the best passing big duo I can remember, like, in modern basketball. And even with, like, Jared Allen and Mobley, while they don't have that much of an ability to have, they're, like, it's in the NBA, they're freak athletes and they have a bit of ability to spread the floor. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because what Cardoso is doing is incredible in China. And I get it, again, it's only China. But I always said this with China, and it was like, Nalissa Smith's numbers were so good, and I was really frustrated with how she was playing. I'm like, she's doing exactly what's not going to work for the Fever. And with Kelsey Mitchell, her numbers at times were worse than Nalissa Smith's, and I'm like, she's doing exactly what will help the Fever. She's playing off the ball. And when it comes to Cardoso, she's doing a bit of everything. And you've seen with the 9 assists, this is the biggest thing where you're like, if she can be that elite passer out of the post, and it basically means I think she is literally becoming a better sealer away from being who should be the most dominant. If she asserts herself more physically in the game, because Her all-around skills and her hands are unbelievable. She just needs to be able to assert herself a little bit more. And I actually think Kamilla Cardoso has like potential to be the top, like one of the second or third best center in the WNBA. Soon. And that's the scary thing for this guy. And like this reminds me so much almost of like OKC in the NBA, where you're like, you've got like some of the best players in the world. You've got like two of the top players in like Harden and Westbrook. You've got two of the best like young ball handlers in the world, and you need to get rid of one of them for both of them to become the all-time greats and MVPs. And I just don't know. This season will be really interesting when it comes to this guy. I still think long-term, the two of them aren't going to work in modern basketball. Like, you're going to basically need one of them is going to have to sacrifice their inside presence to become more of an outside player. And with becoming more of an outside player, their offensive rebounding numbers are going to come down. And like, realistically, it's going to be Angel. Cardoso's not going to develop a three-point shot. It's going to, like, Angel's going to have to shoot more. And she's shooting better. Like, her shot's going in. She still does this on her. She still crosses her arms on every jump shot, which is really annoying. But she's working on that three-point shot. But with that, like, her numbers go down and her rebounds go down. A lot of stuff go down. While I actually think Angel Reese herself will do that, I don't think she cares that much about her numbers. I think in the grand scheme of things, people judge players by numbers, and it's going to cause like people to undervalue Angel Reese if she adapts her game for Cardoso. And like, if I'm the Sky, that's what I'm pushing to do, because if you want to keep both of them, you're going to have to find some way of getting one of them to spread the floor. But if you're cool with trading one of them next season, I think you let both of them go get their numbers. You let both of them play inside. And I don't think the team's going to win many games with two inside bigs. They're going to be really good teams, because there's going to be games sometimes where you just out rebound them. They can't get a board. They're switched off a little bit, and you just kill them on the offensive glass. But like, those games are going to be a lot rarer than we think. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.